In 1969, a group of astronauts changed the world. They walked on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In 1972, our journey ended. We've never been back. 2010 begins a year of change. Private companies are working on next-generation spaceships. Governments are looking to go back to the moon and on to Mars. It's time to look up and dream again. It's time to push humans into the cosmos. It's time to educate and engage the planet. It's time for Spacevidcast.
Welcome to Spacevidcast for 306 for February 12th, 2010. I am your host, Carrie Ann Higginbotham, and with me, as always, is my husband, my wonderful, lovely, beautiful husband.
Oh, beautiful. See what we tried to do there? See what we tried to do there? We had to switch the seats, so we decided to switch the roles with the seats.
So close!
Almost. It's beautiful, lovely, wonderful, and talented.
Whatever. You're
Carrie Ann
clearly not
Higginbotham.
talented. You lie every week to these poor people.
We are your Space Vidcasters. Welcome to the show. I thought you guys would like that. Wow, it was an action-packed space week, as it were. And by the way, we changed chairs because it just like the tech gods are against us today. And you never tell anyone why you're doing something because they'll never notice, and B, they don't care. But the backlight's burned out, and Carrie Ann's hair is really dark, so we had to switch spots so that it actually.
So you
otherwise,
could see me.
Otherwise,
Otherwise,
her
I'm
hair
just
blended
like
right in the background.
I'm like
But
a floating bald
The best part
head.
is, so that backlight burnt out, and then like that other front light, oh man.
Yeah,
so
it's
we've
like
got
this front light and that backlight.
and then that blue light all burnt out.
Yeah, blue light, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
really
awesome.
bad. So.
Welcome to the show. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. So I think we're going to get right into it with some space news.
Might as well.
Space news.
I heard rumors.
I heard a rumor.
Someone said you're whack. Heard rumors that they launched a space shuttle recently.
No. That program's over with.
The program's over with?
Yeah, it's done.
Oh yeah,
It's
no
been
more,
canceled.
no more. Completely canceled. Actually, if you were joining us live for our high-definition coverage of STS-130, you were up late. Hopefully, you had your Crow River Coffee blast-off blend to keep you awake for the whole thing. The first launch attempt was scrubbed at about L-10 minutes or so, and it was scrubbed due to weather, which was awesome because we went into the evening with an 80% chance of go, and then shortly thereafter it became 60%, and we're like, uh-oh, this isn't good. And then a little bit later it became 30%, and we're like, nope, not going. And then like at L-10 minutes, they're like, yeah, we're gonna scrub. Called it.
It's kind of sad.
The next night, now keep in mind, this is like 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning our time, 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're all like, we're exhausted. So then NASA's like, okay, well, we don't have day jobs because we're the ones launching it. So we're going to do it again the next day.
Yay!
So that's exactly what they did. And a bunch of you joined us for the second day. And again, hopefully you had your blast-off blend, which you can get at crowrivercoffee.com. And it launched. Actually, they started with only a 60% chance of go. And it was just a beautiful night launch. And keep in mind, this is the last night launch of the space shuttle ever.
Yeah, it was totally worth staying up for. It was absolutely gorgeous, and it was almost like the clouds sort of parted. So
it was really cool.
It was beautiful.
We're going to show you that night launch, but just keep in mind, if you've never seen a space shuttle launch at night, you will never have the opportunity to do that again. Which means if you've never seen a space shuttle launch, don't lose the opportunity. Find a way to make it happen. You've already lost a chance to see a night launch. Don't lose a chance to see a launch at all.
Yeah.
So having said that, check it out. Here's STS-130 launch.
T-minus 16 seconds. The sound suppression water system has been activated. We're T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We have to go for ready to start. 2, 1, 0. booster ignition, and liftoff of Shuttle Endeavour with NASA's final space station crew compartment that brings a bay window view to our celestial backyard.
Houston, Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
This is Mission Control Houston. Endeavour's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station.
Now, in addition to this launch
28
coverage,
seconds
you
into
can
the
go
flight,
to,
Endeavour flying
you
at
can get to
1,100
that
miles
by
per
going to
hour,
spacevidcast.com.
1.3 miles
You
in
can
altitude,
also see
and 7 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, according
the
to
raw
onboard
high-definition
computers.
file downloaded from directly from the satellite. So we have a MPEG-2 file
Endeavour's
at the
engines
full
are
720p,
throttling down at
60
as the
frames per
orbiter passes
second.
through the area of maximum
And you
pressure
can
on
download
the
that if you're
vehicle.
an Epic member, so you can go to spacevidcast.com/epic to download that. In addition, we're going to be uploading a little bit later on tonight. You may have seen that Jason was holding up some paperwork at
Endeavour,
when he was
go
doing
at
his live
throttle
coverage.
up.
Yep.
And in that paperwork
copy.
is
Go ahead,
like all the
throttle up.
media stuff. And so
The 3 main
we
engines
have
on
those
board are
files available
throttling
for
back
download
up.
as well.
Now 1 minute 10 seconds into flight.
Yeah, so that was a really
Endeavour
cool
flying
launch.
at 1,800
Gorgeous.
miles per
Yep,
hour.
and then you saw it go
10
through the
miles in
clouds. So hopefully you
altitude,
guys had a
11.5
chance to at
miles
least
downrange.
once in your life see a night launch. Otherwise, certainly go back and watch it on the Spacevidcast site, and we've got it with the cool Ascent graphics, and we've got it in high definition available there. We've got it available for high definition download. We've got those other files available for Epic members, and so it was really cool. I always love watching shuttle launches. That was one of 5 remaining shuttle launches, and now after that we're going to have 4 left, and that's the end of the program. That was STS-130, then we've got 131, 132, which is the final flight of Atlantis, 134, which will be the final flight of Endeavour, and then 133, which is the final flight of Discovery.
Yep.
So, oh, sad. Now, once they made it up into space,
Yes.
they took some pictures.
They did.
Because remember, if you go back a little ways, they have internet in space now.
Yes, we have. I know a lot of people thought that, the ISS, and we did a daily on this, so I know a lot of people think that the ISS already had, the internet, as it were. And
The internet.
the internet. But what they really did was, at certain points, they would do sort of a downlink and uplink with NASA. So the different astronauts, the other tweets from space, were actually more Twitters that were sent down to NASA. Somebody at NASA would then put that on whoever's Twitter page, and it would go out that way.
Tweeting.
It kind of was. Well, but I mean, it wasn't like those weren't the words from the astronauts themselves.
Some of them got the
It's
IT
like,
crowd reference.
they
I
just
love
don't
that.
Drop the internet.
It's wireless.
It has to go back onto Big Ben. Anyway, so but they were the actual words from the specific astronauts. But now they don't have to do that anymore. Now they can TwitPic at any point in time that they desire, and they do. So here is
Check out some of these
oh,
shots.
this is just so amazing.
And this is from the latest STS-130 mission, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So these are like right on TwitPic live. Astro, which one is it?
Suichi.
Yeah. Okay.
You can
Look
follow.
at that. That's Mount Everest right there. Check that out. Isn't that beautiful?
Gorgeous. You can follow Astro Jose or Jose, I suppose. And
Oh, that's Fuji? I'm sorry, that's Fuji.
Oops.
There's a blurry shot of the moon as seen from space. The iPhone cameras in space are no better in space than they are on Earth, unfortunately. So they're still blurry. That is a cool shot. Oh, that's Vancouver. That's where the Winter Olympics are going to be happening,
Yeah.
I believe. Trying to figure out what all these shots are. Wait, hang on, I know what this next one is.
that's the Maldives, I thought.
Really?
I think it's the Maldives.
That's a bunch of islands. Pretty cool. So anyhow, yeah, no snow in Vancouver, exactly. So it's one of my favorite shots right there. Look at the man-made islands.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So
Anyway.
yeah, they're taking pictures from space, and now that they've got in the beautiful shot of Endeavour.
Oh, it's just a
and now that they've got internet on the International Space, well, faux internet on the International Space Station, they can kind of start to do some of this.
Right. So what you guys want to do is follow those different astronauts who are up there for 130 right now, and they're sending down TwitPics. I don't want to say all the time, but on a fairly regular basis, and they're just beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. There's tons of them. I didn't put all of them into you didn't put all of them into the slideshow, but there's just a bunch of them, and they're just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So yeah, make sure you check those out.
Of course, we launched the space shuttle, so obviously that's the only launch we can do. We can't do any more launches, right?
Right.
That
no,
would
no,
be
that would-
wrong.
Oh.
SDO launched once again with a delay.
Yes,
So
oddly
they're
enough.
teasing us. They like to tease us, but SDO launched, and check it out. We've got the launch coverage of the Atlas V rocket
Thank you, Geek Mom.
carrying SDO. Here you go.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Go for main engine start. 3, 2, 1, 0. And ignition and liftoff of the Atlas V with the Solar Dynamics Observatory, learning why our star is changing our lives.
Steady state operating levels at 100% thrust on the Mighty 180. Vehicle dynamic disturbances look good. 30 seconds ignition. SDO accelerating smoothly. Seconds. Everything looking good. Engine operating pressures are normal. Coming up on going into closed loop control on Atlas PU.
So those are just a beautiful, great, epic, awesome launch.
And we started closed loop control.
Very
on the
clean,
Atlas
very nice.
propulsion system.
Solar Dynamics.
Engine operating pressures continue to
Solar
look good.
Dynamics Observatory. Jeez.
I'll get it right one day.
Easy for me to say. And it's going to be, as George Diller, our favorite NASA PAO.
Yeah, where was George for the
He was prepping
shuttle
for SDO.
launch?
He was prepping for SDO.
Whatever. Seriously, we got like newbie intern guy. I don't understand what was going on. Well, whatever. We didn't get George, and I was really upset about it.
Now, SDO
It seems to me if there's only 5 shuttle launches left, that we should get George for all of them.
Well, you know, George may not be everyone's favorite.
And we're
Now,
gonna get
SDO,
Max
talk a little bit about
is controlling
SDO
as
and
expected,
what it's going to be doing
operating as
to
expected.
revolutionize the understanding of our sun.
Okay, so SDO is going to take pictures of our great sun in better resolution than any other previous mission, because I have to find the exact number because it's so
Like
completely outrageous.
4,000 by something, isn't it?
It's 4,000 some odd pixels. There we go. 4,096 by 4,096 pixel glory, comparable to IMAX resolution.
Dude, that's sweet. We've also got, so check this out. This is kind of, we've got this is not SDO, but we've got a shot of just like some solar activity type stuff taken in 2001. So now imagine this SDO footage, but in high definition. It's just a really cool shot
You're gonna
of,
feel like you're right there.
Calf, that's your cue for the SDO footage.
But you are, I mean, it's how amazing.
Check that out.
That's gonna look like it's coming at you.
Yeah,
you
you're going to
know?
have that in near IMAX resolution. Again, now this is not SDO. This is you know, actually, I don't know what this was.
Yeah, I don't remember what this one was either.
Searched YouTube. You know,
That's not even the sun, actually.
The space geeks are going to come back and be like, "This is nothing like what it's going to be," and I'm going to be like, "I'm sorry, guys." I'm
Everyone's
sorry.
saying Soho, which yeah, I'm sure that's right. I'm sorry, it's kind of been a day, been a week actually. Anyway, but yeah, that, can you imagine? And it's all going to be done in extreme ultraviolet.
Cool. So those 2 launches went up, and I believe we've actually got some more stuff coming up very, very soon. And we've got a bunch of STS-130 stuff going on, all live here on Spacevidcast.com. In fact, during this live show, they're prepping for the second EVA for STS-130. Now, keep in mind, for those of you watching this live, we will go back to STS-130, so we're not going to interrupt all of that fun jazz. When we come back, we're going to be talking about more space news. Stay with us. We'll return.
Once upon a time, a special few dinosaurs were given a gift. Something that set them apart from everyone else. Flying. If dinosaurs could speak, the orthodox among them would have dismissed the entire notion. Big deal, they would have told themselves. There's nothing up there but empty space. Every good thing in your life is here on the Earth. Food, shelter, company, not to mention greenery. Up there is absolutely nothing. But a strange thing happened. The dinosaurs on the ground died out 65 million years ago. And the ones with the gift of flight, the ones who pioneered the empty space above their heads, well, they're called birds. What's more, there are twice as many species of birds as ground-walking mammals, meaning the flyers have found twice as many ways of making a living in the sky. And flyers, be they birds or flying mammals, live longer than groundlings. Is nature trying to tell us something? Is there another empty space waiting for the flyers among us? Come to the National Space Society's International Space Development Conference in Chicago, May 2010, and wave the other dinosaurs goodbye. Bring space to life by bringing life to space.
I know my mic's up. I can start talking whenever I want. Absolutely.
Okay. Whatevs, dude.
Bring your life to space. Yeah, so that was ISDC 2010, and that's going to be in Chicago this year. We're both going to try to make it there. Whether we can broadcast or not, it's yet to be determined. However, I would certainly, if you can, that's just a fantastic conference. If Tim's in the room, I don't see him.
No, but I know Pomerantz is, and I know a lot of other people who have been, thank you, Pomerantz, saying ISDC is one of the best space conferences of the year.
Yep.
So I know a lot of people who are in the room have gone or have spoken at ISDCs, so it's very fun.
The other one is at the end of this month is Space Up, and we're going to be at Space Up, and we'll be broadcasting whatever we can, and that's going to be in San Diego, California, right?
Yes, it is.
Woo. And that's the last weekend of the month, and that's going to be an unconference, and we have a Spacevidcast live episode. I think 305 was the Spacevidcast live episode talking about Space Up, the unconference, and that's going to be pretty cool. And if you can make it to Space Up and or ISDC, we'd love to meet you guys there. Do a little Spacevidcast up, gather up, I guess, a little tweet up, as it were. Well, we like to see you guys in person, right? I mean, it's not just the show and the two-way interaction here. Yeah. They're yelling at me. I forgot. It was EVA 1. I don't know what day of the week it is because I say it's Friday. It's actually Thursday here in the U.S., so I forget what day we're actually on. So it's EVA 1. I got it.
Pomerantz is saying you can have GLXP stickers if you show up at Space Up.
There you go, GLXP stickers.
Awesome. As if there wasn't a reason to go before.
And then in March, you're going to be at South by Southwest.
Yes, I am.
And we're going to attempt to stream that. We'll see if we can actually do that.
Oh, SCG, thanks.
What did SCG say?
Saying said I signed up for Space Up just to see us.
Oh, that's awesome. And there you go. Also, in the commercial, you saw that we're Epic. I haven't updated the commercial yet, so it still says coming January. Well, it's past January, and so it's here. Certainly sign up for Spacevidcast Epic. You get a bunch of cool stuff with Epic, and it helps us do things like bring you these conferences live in high definition right here on Spacevidcast.com. And as far as I know, we're the only site on the planet that streams high definition launch coverage. And there's a pretty high expense to doing that, and it's hard to do, and it's complicated. And your subscription to Epic helps us pay for all of that and make that go. And we appreciate every single subscription. It starts at as low as like $8.33 a month if you do a yearly subscription to that. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to the Crow River Coffee Company for hosting us week after week and us abusing Calf like you wouldn't believe, who's sitting in the background and I just point and I'm like, do this, do that, make that go. So if you go to crowrivercoffee.com, they've got a special blend of coffee, especially for those scary night launches. And even though the Space Shuttle is retiring, and even though that was the last Space Shuttle night launch, there are going to be other night launches. Absolutely. So it may not be Space Shuttle, but there will be a night launch where you're going to wish you had some Crow River coffee.
Vax is calling us the Crow River Spaceport.
Crow River Spaceport, I love that.
CRSP.
Well, I think we should continue the show with some more space news.
Space news.
We rolled the open twice.
Just for all y'all.
Yes. Yes, that just happened.
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to segue into this without being depressing.
Well, yeah, sadly, I mean, we were kind of joking around a little bit.
I'm looking for a good segue, and there just isn't one.
No, there isn't one, but it is interesting, and it is fascinating, although it is about a very sad, devastating topic.
For you space geeks out there, you've probably already seen this, but there is a new Challenger video found of the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster.
Amateur video.
It's amateur video, absolutely.
First, and so far as we know, the only amateur video of, because, you know, this is back in the day, not everyone, first of all, there wasn't video on cell phones, and not everyone
there
had
weren't really cell phones.
Right, nobody had a camcorder, you know, really, so it was unusual to see something like that in 1986. So anyway, this is, I don't know, do you want to run the video and then talk about it, or do you want to?
Yeah, take a peek at it.
Okay.
Mailman said that this now took off. We should be seeing it this second. There's George.
I'm going to speak just a little bit really quickly here. This is
Yeah, but where does it come up?
You know,
it'll be right behind the trees.
It's going to be behind the trees, and they're try to listen to it really close because they are talking to their neighbor and kind of bouncing back and forth.
That little tree. There it goes. I see it in between the trees.
Yeah, there it goes. It's coming right over top of the trees, isn't it?
Uh-huh. It'll be right over top of those trees. I saw it.
There she goes, George.
There it goes.
That's brighter than usual.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right over those trees.
So let's go ahead and cut away from that right about now.
I saw it.
There's no need to show that while we've got a shuttle up there.
Being that
but you know, it is timely. That's why we're showing it right now.
Right.
Because it did just come out, and you can watch that. If you go to YouTube, you can actually search for that and watch it. There are also a couple of different main news sites that have it. We're not going to post. Well, you can post that link in there, but it's way too long.
Right.
But it's a really interesting look and perspective on that, just kind of their reactions, and I kind of remembered my same reaction, and then the whole story of how they found the clip. I mean, they just recently found it.
Right. A retired optometrist was the person who was taking it. So, you know, some people were saying they weren't sure if it was actually a video guy who was taking it. It was like, no, this is just a guy who happens to live close. I think they said something like he was only a few miles away, like 80 miles away from Cape Canaveral. There we go. And he and his wife had retired down in Florida, and they were interested in that kind of thing. I mean, if you have a shuttle launching in your backyard, why wouldn't you be interested in it? And if you happen to have a video camera at the time, why wouldn't you take video of it?
Absolutely.
And at the very end, he's kind of walking away, and even though there's really no footage to see, you can hear him say, you know, I think that was we just recorded a part of history right there. And then he promptly forgot about the tape. And it just had been sitting pretty much locked away for all of this time. Just a really just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but I thought it was fascinating. And it didn't seem as scary because you didn't hear all the bangs and pops and you know what I'm saying?
So the chat room's asking how old I was. I was 8, Carrie-Ann was 9. So I was old enough to remember it. And I remember watching it. I remember watching it live, and it was a big deal because it was with the school teacher.
Yeah,
right?
we watched it in school.
It was kind of a reinvigoration of the space program, the Space Shuttle Transportation System.
Yeah.
And you're right. When you're watching all the regular clips, you've got the PAO audio and everything that goes around that.
This was, you know, it kind of starts off so lighthearted because, you know, they're just
woohoo!
Yeah, they're just videoing it, and oh, and isn't that interesting, and isn't it whatever, and then they see it and they start to, I mean, a little bit further into the video, they start talking about like, oh, that's not right. Well, there might be something wrong there, and they don't know right away. And so the one neighbor runs in, and the wife runs in to turn on the TV to figure out what's going on, and that's when they hear that it exploded and it, you know, all of this stuff, and they really just don't. They really just don't know how to react to it because it just wasn't.
There was
something
nothing like that in our. I mean, there really was never anything like that in our space program before.
Right.
And Yeah, I mean, it was, anyhow, I still remember it.
But the video itself is fascinating, and it's just under 4 minutes. If you do have some time, I would suggest looking at it just to kind of get a sense, especially for a lot of you who were saying you were -6 at the time, you guys weren't around at the time. I'm sure you've seen the historical footage from NASA, but this is a completely different sort of take, and it's, I think, a little bit closer to how a lot of us were feeling at the time, because it was sort of like,
it's more real and raw.
Wait, that might be, something might be wrong. Well, do you think something's wrong? I don't know if something's wrong. It's that kind of a feeling. It's very interesting. And
now, I wasn't alive during the Apollo era, so I can't say what it was like during the Apollo era. They're mentioning Apollo 1 and 13.
Right.
I can only imagine everyone absolutely glued their television sets at that time. But yeah, I don't know. The only thing I can comment on are things that I participated in, and this is what I didn't really participate in, but I was alive for and I saw, and you know, this is one of them, as was Columbia. But you know, keep in mind there were a lot of mistakes made, and we've really, the team there is actually quite good, and so I was kind of going back and forth as to whether we should air this now or not. The problem is it's really timely because it just came out, and so it's kind of bad timing. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I don't expect any issues.
But I mean, the launch went well, and so there's that.
I expect there will be no issues with Endeavour.
Right.
Very clean vehicle, newest vehicle. Yeah. So anyhow, and then the final story is this weird asteroid, like the one that killed the dinosaurs.
Yeah, this is the story's a little bit old, but I still think it's interesting, and I really don't think it was covered a whole lot, and so that's why I really wanted to sort of bring it up. The P/2010A2.
It's in the shape of a dinosaur.
No, it's not in the shape of a dinosaur. Actually, some people were saying it kind of looked like an X-wing, which is kind of interesting. Can you kind of see
That's
how
it,
it's
right?
sort of,
I
yeah,
got the right one, didn't I?
Yep. That's it. That's exactly it. See how it kind of has that crossing over something?
Yeah, kind of. I suppose I can see it a little bit, but I think they're stretching a little bit on that one.
Yeah, no, they are stretching a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Here you guys go.
Yeah, you know what? It does. It looks more like a base star than an X-wing. That I would say that's.
Some people said base star.
I would say that's more of a Cylon base star.
Right. Other people were calling it a oh no, I can't think. I'm so sorry. Not a Vulcan.
Pomerantz is saying X Prize sponsored this satellite or this asteroid. It does. I can see that absolutely.
Oh, that's too funny.
Well played, Pomerantz. Well played.
Exactly. So it was first shown, or it was first spotted around early January 6th.
Quantum G Phoenix. That's a good one too.
There you go. Traveling through the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and nobody really knew exactly what it was. Was it a comet, asteroid, et cetera, et cetera?
Base star.
But because of the shape of it was just sort of weird, and nobody could really understand what was going on there. And of course, they had given it the cooler nickname Object X.
Oh man.
Anyhow, so.
Because anything with X in it is cool, just ask Pomerantz.
Right. Google Lunar X Prize?
Oh yeah.
Okay, anyhow, so thankfully we were able to swing Hubble over and kind of get some better pictures. Pardon me, goodness. And it's actually.
You guys are punchy tonight, jeez.
No joke.
It's a good thing we have the chat room back at the bottom of the room, otherwise I'd just be giggling here and everyone's like, why is he laughing? What's going on?
They they found out that it's two different trajectories colliding. And so that's what's going on. That's what you're seeing. That's why it's making that X. And a lot of the sort of tail, if you were, are all these different pieces that are flying off. And that's why it's kind of got that streaking with the X kind of thing going on, the contrails, as it were. So,
I'm just laughing at the chat room.
Should I just?
You know, well, no, kind of. If you guys are watching this on demand, as soon as we started talking about the story, rewind, stop listening to us, and just read the chat room. That's some good commentary down there. That's what that is. No, keep going.
No, really? I could just be quiet. Well, you just told them not to listen to me.
Yeah, so no, I'm saying, so listen to you the first time, and then go back afterwards, and then listen to it again, or watch it. Don't listen. Mute it and watch it.
Something. Exactly? No, I don't know. Anyway, so it's nothing really to be scared of, but people were a little freaked out at the time because it seemed very, very big and very, very odd and kind of coming in our general direction. So it was a little scary.
That's what she said.
Is that? Okay, fine.
I couldn't help myself.
Really?
All right. That's it on that one, right?
Yet? Yes,
yeah, and then we cut the other one.
Doesn't matter if I'm gonna. Doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
You guys are, you know, it's awesome to have. It's fun for these live space shuttle launches because when the room just blows up and we get a ton of viewers and everyone loves it and you guys love the high def and you have a lot of fun and you like the chat room. And then over time, and a bunch of you stay around, right? I mean, obviously we got a bunch of people in the chat room right now. It's an active, peppy live show and you guys are doing great. But then over time, you kind of start to, you know, just fizzle out. And I would just say, you know, don't fizzle out. Just stay, become a regular member of the community. Stick around. We're not just here for space shuttle launches. The chat room is open 24/7. We have live video 24/7. We're always showing something. Given it might be children's programming that is boring. Painfully boring.
Yeah, but you can just mute that.
You just mute it, right? Just talk in the chat room, have fun.
Because everyone in the chat room's like, boring! So,
yeah, absolutely.
Might as well.
We've got rocket scientists in the chat room, and we've got 13-year-old kids who have never seen a space shuttle launch before, and everyone in between. So there's a place for absolutely everyone, and we would encourage you, even if you can't watch the show live, because I know we're worldwide, and you know this could be on at like 3 a.m. your time. Even if you can't watch live, certainly sometime during the day, jump into the chat room. I know I was up last night doing some server maintenance type stuff. I just popped open the chat room and just tons of conversation going on, like at 6 in the morning, Central Standard Time. So, you know, you never know. You never know.
And I want to say really quick, you were talking about how there was like 13-year-old kids, and not that Leo's a 13-year-old kid, he's actually 17, but in the last week or so, we've gotten a couple of different letters from people who are younger than 20, I'll put it that way, thanking us for our coverage. Not necessarily because of us, really, but because they can't get NASA TV, and especially NASA TV in HD in the parts of the world where they are. So I wanted to give a really big shout out to Craig Jones and Leo Wong, because I really, really appreciated everything that you guys said in your letters. It was very, very heartwarming to me, and it's very, very cool for me to share that with other people, to you know, like I'm making an impact of sorts. And again, I know it's not me or us per se, but that, you know, we are able to bring you NASA TV and NASA TV in HD. And you know, I know Leo was saying that he's telling all of his friends, and they just think it's the coolest stuff. And we've been seeing all the tweets too, and I'm kind of, because at first I was like, what is that language? And Leo's like, yeah, I'm in Hong Kong. Oh, well, yep. Maybe it's Japanese. So that's what's that's what's going on there. But that was very, very cool to get those letters, and I'm hoping to get them back up onto the to the website so you guys can read them too. It was really neat.
Yep, and if you want to get mentioned on the air, all you have to do is write us a letter and tell us nice things about how awesome we are, and we will reach you. We like it. We like it. We have a lot of people tell us how stupid we are all the time. So it's nice to hear that.
I want to be clear. It's not that we don't get letters of people who are saying that we're stupid and stuck up and we don't know what's going on too. And I want to post those as well, because there's an interesting theme to some of them. So they don't necessarily always understand what we're trying to do and what we're trying to get across. And anyway, so look for that on the website relatively soon. I want the people who are writing to us to get credit for, you know, what they say, good, bad, or otherwise.
Like a letters to Spacevidcast section. I think it's going to be kind of cool, where you can just kind of see what other people are saying and comment on it, or something like that. I don't know what.
Yeah, maybe not comment, but yeah, I did want to thank Craig and Leo for those, because I thought that they were the coolest things, and I very much so appreciate that.
Absolutely. What else did I want to mention? Oh yeah, buy Epic. I didn't mention that enough in the show. Buy Epic, buy coffee, and go to Space Up and go to ISDC. There. Did I drive those home enough?
I think so. Pomerantz. Just Spacevidcast. I never thought it would happen to me like this, but...
Seriously, you guys are on fire tonight. Oh, the Tonight Show was all about the chat room. Seriously, if you weren't paying attention to the chat room, go back, watch the show again, and read the chat room. There is some brilliant commenting happening in the chat room throughout this entire show.
And yes, we will switch chairs again. You guys are saying that you're going cross-eyed. Somebody was wondering if they could flip-flop us
we should have,
at home.
When we came out of break, we should have switched around.
We should have.
Dang it.
But no, everything hopefully will be back to normal next week. We did want to keep the show a little bit short because the EVA is going on, and so we want to make sure that you guys get a chance to see that, but nothing really happens interesting for the next, for the first hour.
On that note, we're going to come back live at you next week. However, much like a few weeks ago where I was flying in from out of country and had to drive from the airport to the coffee shop, the same exact thing is going to be happening next week, but even worse. I don't land until 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 30 minutes after the show is actually supposed to start, and that's when I land. It then takes an hour to drive up here, and that doesn't even include anything else. I haven't the slightest idea what time that particular show is going to start. So watch our Twitter feed, watch our website. We'll post updates there. I'm planning on doing the show, but I'm going to be frank with you guys. I might cancel. That might be the first canceled show of 2010. I don't like to cancel shows, so I'm going to try to do the show. But yeah, I'm just going to sit here in a comatose state while Carrie Ann does the whole thing. Oh, and Rev says hi. So watch our Twitter feed, watch our website with a little countdown ticker that isn't counting down right now because we're currently live. And well, it's not.
Next live show sometime in the future.
No, it says next live show, STS-130, and it just stays live the whole time. So watch that, and we'll see you guys sometime in the very near future. Thank you so much for joining us.